equality of genders based on political, social and cultural factors?
Women's rights, they feel like they're not getting enough in life.
Women fighting for their rights.
Well, feminism is more for women's rights.
For females to make them equal to men.
The advancement of women's rights in order for equality.
Feminism is defined as the advocacy of women's rights on the grounds of equality of the sexes. Western feminism is divided into 3 waves. First wave. The goal of this wave was to open up opportunities for women, such as the right to vote, equal education, the ability to work in any trade or profession, to get a divorce and to own property. Second wave. This wave concentrated on reproductive rights, sexuality and social equality. Women were granted fair employment practices, paid maternity leave, affordable childcare, modern women's shelters, birth control pills and legalised abortion. They also began to protest against women being sexualised and drew attention to domestic violence and sexual assault issues. Third wave. Modern feminists focus on abolishing gender roles and stereotypes placed upon women. They also campaign for equal pay and protest against sexualisation of women's bodies, slut shaming and victim shaming, and the use of derogatory terms such as bitch.
Mainly slut shaming.
A better future for women.
Free the nipple.
Free the nipple. Free the nipple.
How men get paid more than women.
Equal pay.
Third wave feminism is more about getting the smaller details correct.
I guess modern day feminist arguments aren't as relevant as they might have been.
Many people define feminism as a movement for gender equality. Gender equality is defined as men and women having equal rights and opportunities and having the behaviours, aspirations and needs of both men and women equally valued. Many feminists do not campaign for or even acknowledge the wants and needs of men. Therefore, third wave feminism is not a movement for gender equality, it is for female primacy.
I don't really know. To me, in our generation, we do have more rights, the same rights.
Like what? I don't know.
I've never really looked into this has never really occurred to me kind of things.
There's more women's shelters out there than what there are men's shelters. I guess men don't really have a place that they could go to as a refuge.
I don't think they need any more power.
I think men deserve less than women. Because men have gone through hundreds and hundreds of years having so much more power than women. I reckon that they should have a few years getting treated how we get treated.
Although males make up roughly 30% of sexual assault victims, 34% of domestic abuse victims, and 40% of emotional abuse victims in Australia, there is no awareness of this because so-called gender equality activists tend to victimise the female gender and only present information associated with female victims. Keep in mind, men are less than half as likely to report assault and abuse than women are, with an increase of 175% of cases being reported within the past 7 years. It is time that society stops standardising thin and hairless bodies and moves on from the idea that women need to be ladylike. It is also time that we acknowledge the fact that men are shamed for being too fat, too thin, having too much body hair, or not being manly enough. The high expectations placed on males may cause them to develop eating disorders. Along with eating disorders, males also suffer from mental illnesses, with the male suicide rate in Australia being 4 times higher than that of women. Birth control and reproductive rights were a major point in feminist history, and while women have had multiple methods of preventing pregnancy for decades, the only options that males had were a condom, the withdrawal method of vasectomy, or abstinence. Infant genital mutilation has never really been an issue for Western women, as it is illegal and has harsh penalties if carried out. Although many feminists protest against female genital mutilation in places like Africa, seemingly ignoring the fact that male genital mutilation is legal all around the world. If somebody were to mention a rapist or murderer, the first image that would come to mind would most likely be a male. This is because men have been associated with crime. Although the perpetrators of these crimes may be predominantly male, that only means that there is something wrong with those individuals, not the male gender as a whole. Because men are stereotyped like this, women are taught to be scared of men and to associate the entire gender with sexual predators and murderers. Just imagine if men were to stereotype women like that. Men are likely to get up to 63% more time in prison than women for the exact same crime. Men are also less likely to get custody of their children, even though 73% of cases of child abuse and neglect are due to the mother. First and second wave feminism actually granted women equal rights with men. Third wave feminism is simply to stop discrimination against females, but in the process many feminists are discriminating against men. It is teaching young women to be scared of men and that discriminating against them is okay. In order to reach gender equality, there must be acknowledgement and awareness of both men's and women's issues, and actions taken to eliminate these. Feminism only addresses women's rights, with men's rights often being ignored. This is why feminism is not a movement for gender equality, it is for female primacy.